are unable to join the chat, we will be also live streaming on YouTube. Awesome. I believe we are live. Awesome. So it looks like we're live. If you are unable to join, make sure to join that YouTube link. I will pin this in the channel and I'll hand it off to Maggie and all of our hosts here today.
What is up, buddies? Alright, so, if you're new to Design Buddies, welcome. If you're returning, welcome as well. And if you're new, a little bit about Design Buddies, we're here to connect and support all designers from all backgrounds. We host cool events such as this one. We host panels and other types of workshops. We have 27,000 K and over, going strong, and we do have plenty of your takeaways. And if any feedback, it's not meant to be taken personal, especially tonight for portfolios. Rather a learning experience, right? Whatever we talk about tonight, it's more about for you to just take it with a grain of salt, take it from our knowledge, and then kind of test it out and improve. And then let's all have a fun and save time. Let's be respectful towards each other, right? We do have moderators in the chat, so just be super conscious about that. With that said, I am Maggie. I will be your host. I am a UX designer at HubSpot currently, but I'm also an admin and kind of all over the place when it comes to Design Buddies. So I will piggyback. I will popcorn it over to the rest of our wonderful speakers. Let's go over, and Nadia, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Nadia. I'm a UX UI designer and actually a recent university grad. I'm in Toronto, Canada. And I've been part of Design Buddies since May of 2020, and just been a really great experience being a part of a global design community. And this is where I've met like the majority of my design friends. And also one of the hosts for tonight. I'll popcorn it over to Andy.
Hey, so this is Andy. I am a product designer by trade. I am based usually in Berkeley, California, but I'm currently right now in Canada, in Vancouver, visiting my parents. And so like I said, I'm a product designer, but most recently I've taken on a new venture trying to start my own company. I've started this company called Read.cv, which is a professional platform which kind of caters to design, and it's kind of in between maybe LinkedIn and your portfolio. So yeah, that's me. And I'll hand it over to Ying.
Thanks, Andy. Hi, everyone. My name is Ying. I'm a senior UX designer at Honeywell, and also am a co-organizer of Ladies at UX Atlanta. So we are a inclusive design community that welcomes women, non-binary, and femme creatives. And really excited to be here with everybody tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. So a little bit over the how we're gonna do this. So we do have 4 portfolios we will be going over, and we do have backups just in case. So we'll do a rough 10 minutes for feedback. I will ask each portfolio owner to give literally a 30-second spiel about what is what type of feedback you're looking for, what is something we should look out for, and then we'll kind of take it from there, and then we'll do that over 4 portfolios. So first up, we have Allison Liu. Allison, if you're in the house, let us unmute you so that you can give us a 30-second spiel. Any Allisons in the house? Alright. Let's see. Let's unmute Allison.
Oh yeah, hello, this is Allison. I'm a sophomore at UCI, and I don't know if Grace has let you know, but I changed my portfolio into Squarespace, so
Oh yeah, you did. I'm so sorry.
yeah, so sorry about that. But yeah, so what I'm looking for is I'm planning to apply for summer 2022 internships. So I wanted to keep an eye out on like what's the overall like design process I laid out. Is there anything missing, or is there anything I should add in the home page to make it more appealing to stand out from other people? And I think that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alright, and speakers, just remember if you want to unmute yourself and let me know if I need to go somewhere specific. Do let me know, but otherwise I will be driving and feel free to speak casually.
Okay.
Alright. I'll do a quick glance over on the portfolio here.
Okay. Oh, I guess I'll sorry. First off, hi Allison. Really nice to meet you. Overall, I think your portfolio, the layout of it is simple to follow in terms of navigation here. And let's see, from the very top, the thing that I see, so I see you're an illustrator here. For me, I would like to see a picture of you on here to kind of match the face with the name. Then I see in your tagline here, hello friend, I'm Allison, empathetic UX UI designer and musician. So here's the interesting thing is like when I see people have a tagline where it's like their core focus UX plus musician plus teacher plus something else, I would like to know a little bit more of how your background in music ties into your UX UI experience here. That's it so far. Andy, you have anything?
Yeah, I will say that I actually clicked on your first portfolio over the weekend. I have to say that looking at the Squarespace version, I think it's like a big improvement. Obviously, it's hard for people who haven't seen the original version, but I just like how simple the landing page is. It gets to the point. You know, it's a simple, easy to read one-line text. And I also just really like it when people kind of include their hobbies outside of design on their portfolios, just so it kind of gets to know you a little bit better. Also, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I always click to about sections before looking at any case studies. So I like that.
I do too.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's about like the about section. Never really know what to really expect, so it's kind of like dynamic. So I tend to click there before kind of going into a case study, just to have context about like who this person is, and you know, I'm very interested in understanding like what's going to be the first few things that they tell me about themselves. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing I am just noticing, this is really minor feedback, but the About Me button actually is broken on the front page. But obviously you can get there from the menu up top.
Yeah, actually, I will leave it up to you, Allison, in terms of like you do have the About link in the primary navigation, so you may not actually need that button right below your tagline. So it's up to you if you want to decide like, I want to put this in front of the reader to, you know, encourage them to read about me before they look at the case study, or would you rather have them, you know, start scrolling down to look at your case studies too? So kind of like building out that pathway for them to go down depending on your objective and, you know, the experience you want to create for them.
Yeah, looking at the about page, I think it looks good and clean, and actually the photo does kind of give you a pretty good impression of who you are. Maybe more so than maybe the combination of the photo and the illustration is the ultimate combo.
Yeah, I'm a fan of photos. I guess it's just, you know, seeing your true eyes, like this person. Though I do like your illustration. Maybe that's something that your illustration can live here in your About Me section, and we can have your picture out on the front page. Maybe.
Maybe we can scroll down to like the case study thumbnails a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a specific case study we
Actually,
should look into?
can we actually want to pause here because I think I feel the display or like the what do you call it, this catalog of case studies that you have here, it's really important because it sets that first impression of like, oh, what do I want to look at first? And this, I'll start with I see there's like a diversity of different projects here. The thing is, it's a little bit of a pet peeve for me is like I have to hover over each one to get the name of it. So imagine if your reader is looking at this on a mobile device, there isn't a hover interaction. So I really would just be relying on the image thumbnail to understand what project to look at. And say if I only had a few minutes of time, then which case study would you like me to take a look at? So that's one piece of feedback for displaying thumbnails for projects is like I would pair the imagery with a proper like text and description and a clear CTA as well, so I can see the picture, read like one or two sentences about it, and then just click on it to read more about it.
Yeah, I really agree with that. It would be also just nice if the text like wasn't over the image, just because it gets a little bit muddy and difficult to read even in the hover state.
That's true. So Allison, if you decide to keep this hover interaction here, that's a really great point of like, see if you can introduce a little bit of opacity behind the text as well, so that can make it a little bit more clear to see. Yeah, good point there, Andy.
Yeah, I think personally, I don't like hover interactions because they're not accessible and they're not easy, not quickly. Yeah, I can't skim, so that's something that I always mention in terms of consideration, especially if you're gonna call yourself empathetic. That has a little bit to do with, okay, well, consider who's looking into your portfolio and essentially who has how much time they're gonna spend in here. But
I haven't spoke yet, but let's go to the About page. For feedback for the About page, scroll all the way down for a second. Either you could make a new page called My Contact, and that page would have like your email or like LinkedIn or whatever. I think, like, in my opinion, like, I think as well, there should be some sort of like way to indicate to the user, oh, how could we contact you? Like, how can we find your email or like your LinkedIn? And I did see like the footer at the bottom, but perhaps like, although we are like skimming right now, like I think like for me, I would also like to see like some sort of like contact section or like maybe some like indicator, even if it's on the homepage, if there's like a CTA for us to contact you.
I will be moving to one case study. I'll just jump to this one for the sake of time.
Yeah, that's one I wanted to take a look at.
I think just out of the thumbnails, this one was probably the most enticing for me to click on as well. Not only because it was the first, but I think because it showed the most like work in the thumbnail itself. Like you can see all the mobile screens, as opposed to the other ones, which are more ambiguous as to what you're going to get.
Yeah, I agree. For the thumbnails, some of them had like logos. So when I think of like only the logo showing, then I think it's like either an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement for anyone who's new to design, or maybe you were doing an internship and then you can't like publicly show the work. Publicly can't show the work. So for anything like conceptual apps, like app designs or whatever, you're able to show like maybe like prototypes of like what is it, like an app prototype, or like if it was a desktop app or whatever, then I would like change the thumbnail so that it reflects that. Because when I see like logos, then I just think that, oh, maybe it was like an NDA, or like even if it was like another type of design, like graphic design or like logo.
Yeah, I think of it kind of like a cooking show where you kind of want to like show the end result first, and it kind of draws you in. You're like, oh, look, that looks so great. And then you kind of show how, the cookie was made or whatever.
Ooh, can we pause on these two columns here up at the top? I like that you included the actual questions that you utilized in your survey and in your user interview, because I have seen a lot of case studies where they broadly talk about doing user interviews, but I never get to have like a window view into what that script looked like, or so I appreciate seeing some of the questions here, so I can like have follow-up questions for you if I were to talk to you. Ooh, can you hover over that? Ooh, so another pet peeve of mine. If you have any imagery,
Yep.
please make sure that it's clickable and enlargeable, so that I can actually read through it. Because right now, since I can't interact with it, I only have like half a second to decide. Oh, I can't read it, so I'm gonna skip over it and move on.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Especially like tiny text, right? Like you can't even discern what that is. How is that helpful for us to understand the case study?
Treat every single artifact that you have in your case study with intentionality. Make sure each interaction point with that artifact is as simple or streamlined or as easy as possible to understand.
Yeah, same with this one.
I'm also curious just for like the other people looking at this, like if you outside of this case study too, if you feel that there's like a optimal like length of case study, because I was previously a hiring manager, and I know that when you're looking through say for like internship applications, you're looking at a lot of portfolios, and so for me, the more like concise you can be, the better. But I'm not sure if I'm the only one that feels that.
That's a good,
Just
a good point
BTW
too.
in our last 30 seconds.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Andy, in terms of like that ideal length of time, because looking at this, I think this will take roughly 10 minutes to look through. And if I'm a recruiter and I have a stack of like 20 portfolio links to look through, then I'm not going to be able to really understand everything. So it is about finding that balance between showcasing, conveying enough to give you understanding of each phase, and then maybe have either collapse section with more detail or somewhere else. Wow, it was very grand.
I did not expect that to.
I actually like that rather than like alarm that goes like.
I actually liked it, yeah. But
yeah.
Allison, this is like looking really. I love all the details you have in here. So all the heavy content's already here. It's just a little bit of like fine tuning it.
I agree. I think, be very conscious and aware of what you put. Make sure that it is actually pointing to the story, like how do you make certain decisions. Make sure that you follow good usability practices and accessibility practices, of course. And yeah, but overall, you have a lot of stuff to work out through, which is always a good thing versus not having enough.
Definitely.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and go to our second person of the night. That would be Anuri, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. Unuri? Are you in the house? Several people are typing. The mystery.
It's like they're waiting through the chat to wave up their hand. I'm here.
If not, we can go ahead and is Aragon in the house?
Aragon, like the book? That's so cool.
I know, I love this name. You have a very cool name, Aragon. What about Chris Martin? Chris Martin in the house? Anybody?
Oh gosh, which band is he in from again?
Coldplay. I actually don't know how I know that.
My gosh,
But
very
I did listen to
multi-talented.
Coldplay a lot, like as a kid.
Musician, UX researcher. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, we're really excited to.
Okay, Chris. Yeah, Chris is.
Oh, we got a Chris. Chris, hi.
Oh.
Okay. So let me also mute Chris.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. So yeah, I'll get right into it. What I am looking for is to walk through my About Me page and case study pages in order to find a better way to present storytelling of like case studies or improve like the UX writing. I am kind of pursuing more of a UX researcher role, but I think that's the main thing I'm looking for, is to increase flow in storytelling throughout the portfolio.
All right. Let's get into it.
Got it.
I'm gonna start this timer again. All right. Let's jump into the about really quick.
Very unique website so far.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the more unexpected designs.
I like the timeline. The bamboo makes me feel like you travel. It's very zen. I like that you have section headers that are like questions that people would already have when they go into your section. It's like why UX, yeah.
Yeah, like the small animations that you have going on as well. Very smooth.
I think like with Allison's portfolio, in addition to Chris's portfolio, it's nice to include interests. With Chris's about that you mentioned, interest in VR, and I think that could like I think that's like a plus. Like let's just say if you wanted to go in like the VR like industry like sometime in the future, so that's like a good benefit to like tell the recruiters and hiring managers.
Can we see the top of the page again? Like what was the first text?
I feel like even just the design.
The section.
Of the page. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was saying just like the design of the page is like so, expressive on its own without even having to read anything, that you kind of get an idea for the type of person, I guess, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm getting a vibe of your personality and interest just in terms of the content and how you've laid things out. I would say so far it seems like your storytelling is, checking off for this page.
Yeah.
The one thing I would ask is that like, I guess I almost wish like Chris could answer, because the question I do have is like, what is the meaning behind, the bamboo forest and like the photography along the page, like is there sort of like justification for all the design decisions as well, or is it is it sort of like a symptom of potentially the theme of the webs, like the literal, I think, theme from yeah.
I think one thing that is a little bit confusing is the fact that you want to be a UX researcher and I'm seeing design. So I would kind of go back to why research and focus on that if that is the role you're seeking. But otherwise, I agree with everybody.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think the questions are also suited towards UX UI design rather than UX research. So maybe that's just a little bit out of date or something, but it could be good to update those sections.
Can we actually click back on his, I guess, the home icon up at the top? Yeah. So I fully expected when I scrolled down to see your projects. So it kind of feels like I just hit the end there. So
Yeah.
maybe that's something to consider is to as you scroll down, because that's going to be the easiest thing regardless of platform, is that people are going to scroll. And so as you lead them down this path of like, okay, I feel more committed, I want to stay here a little bit longer, and you then bring up your case studies as you go down this page, because the hamburger icon is on the bottom left, so it may be a little bit harder for people to notice at first.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would say main reason why somebody's looking at your portfolio is to jump straight into your work.
Yeah, I'm curious how others feel about like the testimonials section. I guess this front page feels a little bit like marketing-y to me, which I don't know, maybe feels like a little bit less personal than it could be. That makes sense.
Maybe there's a synonym you can use for testimonial, so it feels less like, I guess, agency-y or marketing-y. But in terms of order, I would put the testimonials after your case study. So it's like at the very top, here's me, it's Chris, and then as you scroll down here, my selected case study projects, and then it's like, and then you end with like, this is what people have said about working with me.
Right.
So it's kind of like, here's the content, and then here's what people are saying, instead of here's what people are saying, and then go find the content.
All right, so for the sake of time, I'm gonna jump into one of the case studies here, just the first one, and we're gonna do a quick glance.
Oh, that C prototype, it does not seem like a link. I thought it was part of like the image.
Oh, yeah, totally missed that. Yeah, because I saw it lower down on the page. I think there's another prototype link.
It takes you to the prototype.
Which, again, like most likely, this would be. I mean, I guess maybe this is different if I'm thinking about this in a research context, but usually I would try and find the prototype link first and play around with it, and then go back and read the case study. And so, trying to make that more prominent, I think, would be helpful in trying to get a sense of like what the project was, and then understanding how you got there.
That's good. Yeah, that's similar to what you echoed, or what you said earlier of like cooking and showing the finished product first, like making the screen or like the prototype image more prominent near the top.
Prototype takes you out.
There's an option to embed Figma prototypes, right?
Yeah, there's.
I have my portfolio on Waffle, and I embedded like a Figma prototype on there. It's been ages since I did it, but it is possible. So it involves custom code, though.
Although
okay.
I wouldn't suggest doing that. I always suggest, what is the thing you're trying to show through the prototype, because clicking through, the unknown can totally take somebody out of context and not ideal.
Right. I've also suggested before, it's like if to mentees, like if they're not able to embed, then create a looping GIF of like key flows through your prototype.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to just read through the actual case study now. The first thing I'm trying to read pretty quick, so excuse me, this is a bad question, but like the first section is like, what does Hotjar say? I think is Hotjar like a platform for capturing website data? I think that maybe I was just like I'm not familiar with it, and so this was like hard to wrap my head around at first.
Website heat map and behavioral analytics tool.
Yep.
I just googled it. That's true. So with any unique names or acronyms, it doesn't hurt to explain what it is or to spell it out for those that may not understand, because it's like similar to like unclickable images where if it's like I can't find out more about it, then I'll just skip over it.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to reflect that in the title. I know you're trying to keep them like short and sweet, but it could say like, what does the analytics say, or something like a little bit more descriptive of what we're seeing, and less focus on the tool. Any last second comments for Chris?
Overall, it seems like I think the structure, like the storytelling on the page, seems pretty reasonable. Like I'm just kind of skimming over it right now because of time, but I feel like I do have a good idea of what the process was and how the end result was created. I would just say the prototype is like super varied. So that's my biggest gripe, I think.
Oh, I didn't make that sound. What is it like? Now the time's over. It didn't make that like talk sound.
Oh, it didn't. One more thing, I think.
Muted it.
Also, what makes this more scannable and readable is like a smart use of bullets, like lists on here instead of walls of text too.
Yeah, and I would also say like careful with the overuse of colors. I know you're using blue as the background, but sometimes I felt like it was a little too distracting for my taste. But I know that's a bit subjective. It just, don't be afraid to be a little bit more toned down, so that we can focus on the content. Cool.
Good job, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Do we have a Nuri or Aragon? Or Lisa? What about Elisa? Do we have Lisa? I think we'll go ahead and still review these, even though y'all are not here. We'll just won't have any context, but we can go right ahead. Let's start the timer again. All right, so we have Unuri here, and this is pretty much a splash page, and then we can jump into the portfolio.
Yeah. feel like that splash page isn't priority or isn't absolutely necessary, because when you clicked on the work, that looked like that was like a perfectly fine landing page for the website, for the portfolio.
Yeah, these type of pages are, I would say, kind of outdated too, right? This used to be a thing like mid 2000s or something like that.
Like flash animation, like enter the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this picture I would expect to see in your about me, so it's like, again, being intentional about like every interaction that the reader will have going into your site, and if that's serving your purpose.
Yeah, and the whole purpose of portfolios too is try to reduce as much unnecessary or unwanted interactions, right? Like that splash page, like people just want to jump straight into it. So that's one barrier you're putting on your audience, essentially.
I'd say even the image on the about page, the top one, I mean, it's kind of huge. Either make it smaller, or even the those below it are perfectly fine size. And like you said, it's just causing you to have to look through the content. So
yeah, I do like the simplicity of this page, and it also shows a little bit of their personality as well, which is good.
So the first text is talking about what they do outside of design, but I want to know what they do inside of design first.
I agree.
Yeah, I would expect the order to be like, oh, there it is. Okay.
It almost feels like this should come first.
yeah, I also
that
think
should be first.
The currently learning could also be tied into the design section. Like the web development stuff seems pretty related and could be a pro potentially. So I wouldn't separate those two.
Yeah, that's really important to be able to understand, like, be effective collaborator with engineers. Yeah, this is like perfectly good landing experience there.
I like the elephant logo. Pretty chill.
Can we just skip through just like the case studies that Nuri has, like the types? So there's a passion project and there's social media. If we keep scrolling down, so it's all okay. Because the first thing that came to mind, if we scroll back up, was like the ink. The second one, I saw social media first, and I instantly thought, oh, I thought this was gonna be a social media project, but it also says product design and UX research. So perhaps just like switching, swapping those, so like product design, UX research is first and then social media, or if like social media doesn't have like a huge impact on like this project, then you can like just eliminate that altogether.
One thing that's nice here that we talked about earlier was like not having the hover states and just having all the text be readable. One thing that I did notice is that rather than being actual, again, this is an accessibility thing, but the text is actually part of the image, which isn't such a big deal if you're looking at it on a desktop computer, but if you actually shrink your browser down, the images just scale down too, and they get down to a size where you really can't read them. And so it'd be nice if that was just swapped out for actual text.
I agree. Good catch. All right. Let's jump into the first one.
I really like the way that the beginning is laid out, having the role, duration, team, etc. Kind of partition like that, I think works really well. Also really appreciate seeing the team members up front. It's always nice knowing who you did something with.
I almost don't care about the names, and I only care about the role.
Mm.
Because I don't know who
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, at least they didn't link to them too, because I've seen a few portfolios where they link out to the other people's portfolios. And I was like, no, you don't need to do that.
That's a bit much. It's about you.
It's about you.
I actually like the link to other people, or like it sort of reminds me of like web rings back in the day, or like Blogspot, link to other people's blogs and stuff. But it might be a personal thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting mix of like some of the text is text and some of them are text on images. So
Yeah, just something to consider, especially on mobile or smaller screens. I would also try to keep any image high resolution. Like, it looks really blurry in my screen. I don't know for you, but
Yeah.
if you're able to export it higher resolution. What I do like about this flow here is that they've like pointed out like here's the part of the flow you should pay attention to here. Like
I agree.
I've seen so many like dense flow charts where I'm like I don't have time to start reading through this. Like please just spotlight which part of this entire flow chart that you are trying to address or trying to take me through, so then I can understand some piece of it.
I completely agree, and I think that's true with any artifact you throw out there. It's like, what am I looking at? What specifically should I be focusing on about this artifact you're showing me? I do like that there is an explanation next to these images as well. Kind of goes back to what exactly am I looking at and why is this important?
One thing, I would just interrupt for a second. So I just noticed that image has this product designer review and it has like the details. I do not recommend having your text right align. Like if your image is like basically people read like from the starting from the left hand side and like it flows from like the left hand side. So do not recommend. Could you scroll back down, Maggie? Scroll all the way down. More. Keep going. Yeah, right here. Yeah, just as an image that has a product designer interview and it has like the icons. Yeah, I do not recommend for your visual design having the text right on because we read from the left hand side, and in addition there's like that white space. So yeah, just to think about in regards to visual design.
Good catch.
Mm-hmm.
That might actually come up during an interview. It's like, why did you make that decision?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I like the how did this add value, kind of specifically highlighting just a little bit above number 3. Yeah, like essentially grounding us again as a reader of like these are the decisions I took, and this is the reason why. This is the value to the user.
Oh, and for anybody building portfolios, be careful with like small stuff like this. I already see like double capital there.
10 seconds.
Oh wow, you have a sharp eye.
Don't be afraid to run a spell checker and copy paste your text.
All right. Oh, I missed the clock sound.
I did too. Can we bring it back?
Yeah.
Ooh, they have videos too, a walkthrough. Also, that's nice.
Yeah, that is nice. If I had more time. Yeah,
Oh, and then you
my
have
biggest
links to the other projects.
my biggest gripe is just text and images. My biggest.
Yeah, text images, don't need that first landing page. And then just reorder the sections that you have in your about page.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do one more. Ergan, if you're here, you have 2 seconds to say I'm here and give us a 30-second spiel. If not, we can go ahead and get started.
Yeah, we had a few other backups too. Maybe they're in the chat, just in case.
All right. Well, for the sake of time, we're just gonna go ahead because I know we're almost at time. So I'll jump into their about page.
Very moody website style.
This might be a subjective thing, but perhaps adding color, because when I see black and white, I have no idea why, but I think of like photography websites, so maybe think that like I'm on a photography website.
Well, sounds like they are a part-time photographer. Some influence there.
I also felt like this one was aesthetically, or like visual design wise, kind of one of the more refined ones, where the typography and the color and choices and everything felt intentional to me. Whereas for a few of the other ones, I don't know. Sometimes I find it hard sometimes when people try to impose like a lot of like self-branding onto their own portfolio in terms of like color and typography, but this one felt a little more natural to me.
So far, seems like he's balancing that aesthetics and functionality he's talking about in his tagline.
Exactly.
Just good.
One small thing is in his section below where it's connect with me. I wish those two buttons were the same size.
Agreed. And I think it's the way this is built. Something to be conscious about. Yeah, I think I see what they're doing, but I'd rather have these two be like the same.
Yeah, because the section header is that stay connected with me, not the column text above it.
Right. Okay. One thing I also noticed, I know this typically takes you back to the home, but I kind of almost am missing like a works or something, because now it's like about playground and photography.
Oh, I assume playground was their work?
Experiments, so.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, the plus one, so what you said.
One thing is that for the tagline, I'm Aragon UX designer nuance. Just like little things such as like punctuation, like capitalization. So because I did notice that like about that everything was like properly like capitalized, but in this case with like the tagline here, then like nuance communications would be like capitalized, and yeah. Attention to detail.
Yeah.
It could be nice if the nuance was also linked, just because I'm not sure what company that is.
Yeah, like a subtle underline.
Yeah.
Nice layout. I just wish I could, if I had no context, I would want to see like either tags and or short description.
Yeah, right now they're kind of same, right? Like I'm seeing sitting sidekick. So it's. I wish there was a little bit more context in terms of me committing to opening one of these.
Yeah. What happens if you click on one of those coming soon thumbnails?
Nothing.
What are y'all? Yeah, what are y'all's views on like if it's to even show coming soon or to not show if it's not ready?
I would say, like, maybe this is, in my opinion, if you have like coming like soon, perhaps just not making the thumbnail like clickable at all. So like when you hover over it, then like your cursor turns into like you can't access the page. The reason
Yeah.
like why I would want it coming soon is that like eventually down the line that you will have that project up there for users to read. So
I'm personally not a
Yeah.
fan.
That's where
Or
that
if
short
you're,
description would help.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really add anything. It just takes up space. I wish that if it is coming soon, if you have some rough draft or a demo or something that you can put in there, that will provide me some value.
Yeah, a little teaser.
Yeah, something. But like otherwise, to me, it just feels like it's taking up unnecessary space and taking away from me focusing on on work that I can actually look into.
That's true. Maybe they can have a separate section below this that's just for coming soon, so at least we know, but it's not a complete one we can look at.
Right. It's a hierarchy thing at that point. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of understand it. It's a little bit like having something like a job on your resume, I guess, where it shows that you did it, but without any ability to, click into it. So I can understand why you'd want to put it in, even if the case study isn't finished.
And I can say it also shows or tries to convey like a freshness, like this is active, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You know? In boat infotainment system.
just alignment things is that if we scroll back up again, just very like for one quick second. No, right here, yeah. Like project info and overview, and then you have view project presentation PDF. I know that's like centered, but I think that's like maybe just like myself that maybe the button should be also aligned with project info. Yeah. But I wonder if you could take advantage of like using a grid system.
Yeah, the space between the title and the text feel too far apart. Oh, yep. We have another non-zoomable image.
Oh, and it's very light text too.
Yeah. Figma prototype.
Yeah.
Oh no, it takes me away. No, go back.
I wish I could click on those wireframes or that it was interactable.
So one thing to know is try not to take people outside of your portfolio. You want to make sure people are reading or at least skimming through your case study, and any distraction that takes them away is going to hurt you.
Was when it took us away, did it open a new tab? I didn't pay attention, sorry.
No, it didn't. It
Okay.
opened this tab.
Okay, because I did notice like this is sort of unrelated, but in past for people's like portfolios, I have seen some portfolios where their case study was actually like a Medium article. So if you have to redirect them to another page, perhaps that could open in a new tab rather than being it in this tab, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely prefer new tab. I will say, like, so far, this case study, they do a good job of what we mentioned earlier of, like, that balance between how long and how short. But I feel like this is,
Yeah,
like,
it's
goes
really
through
digestible.
everything, gives me, yeah, very digestible.
Also,
I do wish there was just a bit more of, like, I wish I could look at the wireframes a little more clearly, or, like, see a flow of the wireframes instead of just, like, a collage.
it's nice having these like video demos of the interactions. Like I think the project actually just looks like it's pretty well done. The visuals look really nice. I was also clicking through the Figma prototype a little bit, and yeah, it just looked like pretty well visually executed. I kind of wish the videos weren't YouTube videos and they were like auto playing or something. I feel like the YouTube player Chrome always kind of like gets in the way of design work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Any last second feedback or overall impressions?
It's cool. I mean, I like also the fact that there's an Easter egg at the bottom. It's like unexpected and fun.
Yeah, like, what a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely has, like, UI chops.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Aragon.
Yeah. So that is all the
Oh
portfolios.
no, Aragon just posted in the live chat.
Oh,
You're too late, bud.
on the 4th.
Wait, today is September 14th.
Yeah.
Today is the 14th, Aragon.
Or are you in a different time zone by any chance?
Oh no. They might be.
Well, we still got to review your portfolio.
Oh, it's not there. Oh, it's not their 14th. Okay.
Well, you can watch the stream and kind of go over what we just chatted, but we are at time, and I appreciate all of the participants. I appreciate all the speakers for all your lovely feedback. As always, thank you for swinging by. There were a lot of takeaways. If you want to watch over the video, please do so. I think we're always learning something new. Portfolios are very specific to each person and in different careers. So definitely worth checking out. Once again, don't take any feedback personal. Feedback is just meant to grow and learn from. Whether that was directly towards you or not, we can all kind of grow and learn together. Please keep the conversation going. Please keep joining us for other cool events. We try to host these on a monthly basis. If not, stay tuned for more. And as always, thank you for swinging by.
Thanks, everyone.
See you.
Thank you, everyone.